and Finance Committee meeting and special call committee of the whole meeting to order. It is 3:38 p.m. Councilors, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, ma'am. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That item passes. Next, we will consider the consent agenda. Councilors, do you have any items you'd like to place on consent?
I have some items, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Madam President.
I'd like to consent item number 4 on page 1. Item number 7 on page, I guess it's page 2. Item 9 on page 3. Item 10 and 11. Item 12. Item 13. Item 14. Item 21. 22. 23. 24, item 26, 27, 28, 29, item 32. That's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Just to get those, that is item 4 on page 1, item 7 on page 2, items 9, 10, and 11 on page 3, items 12, 13, and 14 on page 4. Then we skip over to page 7, items 21 through 24 on page 7, items 26 and 27 on page 8, items 28 and 29 on page 9, and item 32 on page 10.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you.
Also, administration is withdrawing items 25 and 18. Councilor Abbott, do you have any items you'd like to place on consent?
Yes, I had one more item, item 15 on page, well, there's no page numbers, but anyway, it's like the
It'll be page 4.
4th or so page in.
Okay.
Yeah, item 15, it's just a reimbursement for a wreck, I assume.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. The consent agenda passes. If your item was placed on the consent agenda, you're free to go. Have a good afternoon. Our first item is item number 5, a resolution pursuant to section 11-47-19 Codes of Alabama 1975, authorizing the mayor to appropriate funds in the amount of $2,500 per neighborhood per calendar year for authorized goods and services such as the rental of inflatables, interactives, carnival equipment, tents, table, large industrial fans, generators, portable restrooms, and concession equipment for the services of a disc jockey, and for any other service or equipment that is like the specifically listed items above, consistent with the purpose of supporting the annual community picnic events. If food is purchased, an additional amount of $500 is authorized for the purchase of concessions, expenditures for food and non-alcoholic beverages for an annual amount not to exceed $3,000, said sum to come from the requesting neighborhood association's fund.
Move the item.
Second.
Chief Mitchell.
Any questions? This is just the yearly resolution we do every year for neighborhood fund days.
Okay. Councilor Abbott.
And it's just in case they want to have one.
That's correct.
Otherwise,
it's just a
money
blanket resolution to allow them to procure the items.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Madam President.
No questions. Thank you.
Councilor Clark, do you have any questions? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The item passes. Next item is item number 6, a commercial sale agreement between the City of Birmingham and Freedom 1957 LLC, under which Freedom 1957 will purchase property known as the McCoy center/church building located at 700 8th Avenue West and 619 8th Street West for the assessed value of $600,000.
Move the item.
Second.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, counselors. Janice James, doctor, and I serve as real estate manager with the Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity.
Can you speak into the mic? You have a loud voice, but still for the people online. Yes. You can take it out. It's fine.
I know.
Okay, this afternoon, I have with me Marlon and Danielle, Marlon King, Danielle Hines, with Freedom 1957, the organization name that's looking to purchase the old McCoy Center church building and an additional lot at 619 8th Street West, all in the same area. So we're asking your support for the sale of the property for the Freedom 1957 for the repurpose of that building. The church building has been vacant for a while. We have the daycare, the adult daycare that's in there now. And Ms. Hines is looking to come in and redo all of that and make it a nice development. As you come down Arkadelphia to 8th and being across from Birmingham Southern, we want to make something really nice. So if you have some questions, if it's possible, should she speak and tell you a little bit more about how she's proposing
Yes,
to do
ma'am.
the property?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Danielle Hines. I am the owner of Freedom 1957 LLC, which also houses Creed 63. What we're planning to do currently, I own the Arthur Shores Law Center, and Creed is located inside of it. And what we want to do...
Can you speak into the mic just a little bit more?
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So Freedom is the holding company to Creed. What Creed 63 does is it provides resources for entrepreneurs. So Creed is actually an acronym for Community Resources, Entrepreneurship, Education, and Development. Well, to date, we have over 89 small businesses that are inside of Creed, and we have run out of space, which is a good thing, a good problem to have. And the only thing that we can do is expand. So we are looking to purchase the McCoy Center to be able to expand. The McCoy Center, we are going to allow the adult daycare to stay there. Let me say that first. They are on the first floor, and I've spoken with them, and we're going to put measures in place to be sure that those patients that they had, not patients, but customers that they have that have Alzheimer's and things like that, that they are secure in the location and it won't interfere with their business operations or ours. So the anticipated stats of the new location are we're going to have 2 studios, 2 recording studios, 4 conference rooms, 2 training rooms, 4 large event spaces, 30 to 40 private offices, 200 virtual offices, 15 dedicated desks, 100 co-working seats, a chef commissary, and then also 6 nonprofit suites for nonprofits to be able to operate inside of the location. Now, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Creed, but in case you are not, let me just give you some stats of what we've already done. We haven't even been open a year. So our anniversary is Juneteenth, and it'll be 1 year that we've been open. And so total community members, now we're only talking 14,000 square feet, and the McCoy Center purchase is over 50,000 square feet. So just within the 14,000 square feet that we have 132 community members. We have 13 leased tenants. We have 89 small businesses that are members, which brings it to 102 total small businesses that are served out of Creed on a monthly. On top of that, our flow-through traffic events, we've had 830 people come through. And the studio time, we've had 89 hours of people coming into the studio to record podcasts. And then we've had a total of 17 public events and 14 weeks of small business incubator programs that have come through the space to be able to be taught by resource providers that we open our space up to. Urban Impact and their Be Birmingham program. And let's see. That's it. Classes given. We've given a total of 61 classes in CREED, and that's through the small businesses that come through there. So that can be anybody from a CPR class or a CDL in classroom time that has to be done outside of the drive time that they need. So our business is open to small businesses, and that's what we're going to do at the McCoy to be able to expand what we're currently doing.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That's really impressive to have done all of that and house all those small businesses in less than a year. I'm really impressed. And for everybody, just kind of work with us with the mic. So we're not being rude. We just want to make sure everybody can hear you. Okay. Madam President, do you have anything?
Yes, I do want to congratulate you. I have been into the current facility where you have some of the equipment for podcasts. So I was interested when I was in there to see what was the other use of the building. So the data that you've given us is very commendable. So very impressive. My question was going to be, what would happen to the adult daycare, those services? So I'm glad to see that you're working with the current provider to continue that, because that is truly, I know friends and people who have had to use that services for parents or family members. So I appreciate you taking that on. Let me ask, when you say small businesses, you know, you got your level, like I think they call it the micro business, which might be 5 and under, or 1 and 5 up to 5. What type of businesses, and is your facility serving as an incubator, or does this give the small business or the entrepreneur, now I have an office space that I could actually work from and bring people into? Could you give me just a little information on that?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So let me answer it this way. We are not an incubator, we're an accelerator, which means the goal behind CREED is not for you to stay there. So all of our membership packages are progressive in order to help the small business owner come out of a virtual office into a membership, into a private office, and then eventually out and, you know, creating their own brick and mortar. So we're there to hold their hand almost to help them get to where they need to be. And we have checks and balances in place to be sure that small businesses that are coming through are truly progressing through what our plan is. And we check in with them often to be sure that, you know, if there's anything that they need, if there's any providers we can send to them, be it funding, be it, you know, legal assistance, whatever it is that they need, we're there. We have a full-time community manager, Eric Flowers, and we also brought our intern, who's here with us today. Oh, and Danielle Ridgway, our accountant. So,
Money lady, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Councilor Abbott?
Well, you've just answered most of the questions I had. I did want to find out about the appraisal on the building, which you may or may not know the answer to that, but someone in the audience does.
I'm sorry, I thought the appraisal was sent to you, but I thought Alan thought that the attorney sent it, but if not, I can send it to you, but we did have the appraisal. But I was under the impression that he had already sent it to you all.
No, ma'am.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, okay, so I don't guess you can tell us what the appraisal is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Mr. King.
The appraisal that we received from the city was completed in March 2022. The value of the appraisal is $7.
Okay, thank you. And I'm actually very excited to see that somebody is going to do something with McCoy. I was wondering how much money you're going to have to sink into the facility itself due to its condition, which the last time I drove past it, the condition didn't look very good. So what is your plan for shoring up the building?
So it's actually on 2 parcels. And so we're going to work in phases. There's a parsonage on there, which is a old home. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with, again, securing the adult daycare, making sure that they're good, and then we're going to work our way up and then out. The biggest cost is going to come from removing the asbestos that's in the building. So we're estimating about $3.8 million total for the entire project.
3.8 for the entire, and that includes painting and caulking and patching and getting all the water to stay out of your building. Well, that's excellent. This is exciting. I wrote down that you were an incubator, but you're an accelerator. which is, might be even better than an incubator, because we need small businesses, and certainly they need help. Every small business person I know needs help, so.
Yes, that's true.
So thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
I agree, especially with the boom of the small business era. That's, I guess you can kind of call it, because everybody's starting to make all these new businesses. So this is so helpful. Can you email us some information so we can send this out to our constituents? Because I think this is a great thing. I don't think, more people need to know about this, honestly.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't know. I think we have to wait until we get a signed contract before we can do that. But once we do, I'll be sure that you have all that.
The services. Okay, thank you. Councilor Clark?
Hi, Danielle. Congratulations. This is very exciting. This is going to be in my district. Once we get that, Matt recorded. But so very excited. I drive past this every day. When I was over capital projects, we put the elevator in we replaced the elevator probably 20-something years ago. And I don't know if the city's touched it since, but
Probably not.
I'm sorry. I'm sure the city's touched it since. But anyway, will you, I know it's parking challenged, so will you have to come in with a parking expansion for the first phase? Because I know some of the there's probably some office space that's not being utilized right now that you could expand into immediately, perhaps. But I know parking has always been short there. And then the sanctuary, that space has never been renovated. So, yeah.
So for the parking, I actually, as part of the deal, have included another parcel that will be used just for parking. And it's located, there is I believe at one point it was a grocery store. And it's the parcel that's behind the grocery store. That'll be
Okay,
used for
that was
additional-
city-owned. Okay, so
Yes.
some remote parking down at a lower level from the...
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then in terms of the church, yes, the church has not been touched. And it's funny because the architects that have gone in there, I loved it because they got to see things that they were reading about in school in the textbooks. But I think it's going to be a really interesting project, and I'm excited about it. So.
Okay, so this acquisition includes the two parcels that the McCoy Center and the old Paul Neville's soccer building, or...
Yes, so it's actually...
And the piece, and the remote piece?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's not developed. I think right now that's just kind of like some trees. Well, I take that back. Part of it's trees and then part of it's just a grassy area.
Okay, so it's 3 parcels altogether?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it's a total of 3 parcels.
okay.
The church parcel is the parcel of it's all, 2 of the parcels are all on one half block. From the church to the end of the block, from Arkadelphia to Street. And then it's that one half a block, and then across the street, right behind the old College Hills grocery store, there's an additional 20,000 square feet of space that, if I'm not mistaken, was supposed to be utilized for the McCoy Center years ago. I don't think they ever developed that site, but I know they did develop it, but that site was supposed to be allocated for the operations. But needless to say, those 3 parcels will be utilized for the operations of the cruise. This is 619 8th Street.
One more
One
quick question. Do you plan to demolish that house that's kind of separate in that half block, or would you leave that standing?
That's the parsonage, so no, that's going to remain there. And
Okay.
just so that you know, our goal for that for small businesses is really to have nonprofits use that space and make that especially depending on their mission, because some nonprofits actually need a space like that. So no, we're not going to tear that down.
Okay, and that's in line with how it's been used historically. There were 2 houses, and they were both used by different nonprofits. I think one was demolished for parking, but, okay. Thank you.
Okay, well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Next item, item number 8, a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to apply, accept, and expend grant funds on behalf of the city of Birmingham in the amount of $401,268 with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency Homeland Security Grant Program to support the purchase of cybersecurity software and electronics equipment for the World Games. Said funds shall be appropriated to the Birmingham Police Department. This grant requires no matching funds from the city and authorizes the mayor to take any and all actions and execute such documents as are appropriate and necessary to accept and expend the grant funds on behalf of the city for use by the Birmingham Police Department in accordance with terms of the grant.
Move the item.
Second.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So the police department would like to apply for this particular grant. It was attempted in the past, but we missed some deadlines. This particular grant will allow opportunities for training, software, and various equipment. We host various events in the city, so this is going to go beyond World Games. And this is just going to give us a platform for the upcoming police fire and various going to be hosted.
Okay, perfect. Madam President?
Yes, I was just wondering, are we being very aggressive with trying to get the grant? Do we have time that we expect to get the money in by the World Games? Or I know you said it's going to be used for police and fire, what do you call that, games later. But do we have the time frame? And I didn't look at the other information to see.
So we won't make it for the World Games because the application deadline is actually July 1st. But because we previously was pursuing it, a lot of the work has already been done. And so we would like to just move forward before we miss the deadline to go ahead and get the resources in place for future events.
One more question, if you don't mind, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
It says for the purchase of cybersecurity software and electronic equipment. Is this equipment, would it be a companion to what we might have in the real-time crime center, or would this be used independent of anything we would have over there?
Probably a combination of both. Okay. It would help us sustain what we already have in addition to provide additional software.
Okay, thank you.
So when will it be, I guess, if we were awarded that grant, when will we get the funding then?
So the finance team is saying that it's a reimbursement. So
okay, gotcha.
As we spend it, we would be reimbursed.
Okay, gotcha. Councilor Abbott.
Okay, so this says that the equipment is for the World Games, but you're saying it's really not for the World Games because the grant won't come in until afterwards. But then you said we're already spending the money and it's a reimbursement. So
we're not already spending the money. This is a reimbursement grant. So some of the equipment or software that we already have that maybe have year contractual obligations, this would help pay for some of that. But no, I wasn't aware that it said specifically the World Games. It's going to be for police, fire, and all of the other events held in the city. So we're not going to make it in time for the World Games.
Maybe before it gets to the city council agenda, the wording could be fixed so that it's accurate, because I was assuming we were rushing to get this equipment for the World Games, and maybe we were at one time, but not anymore. So I guess I shouldn't ask any questions about the equipment because we don't really want anybody to know, but I hope it includes some more cameras. Anyway, so thank you.
Yeah, well, the good thing is the fire and police games are actually supposed to be bigger than the World Games, so we definitely need this. Councilor Clark, do you have any questions? There you go. Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is item 16, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with ABS Business Systems of Birmingham LLC related to the provision of RICOH malfunction devices, MFDs with copy, print, scan, and optional fax functionality, and/or laser printers, along with products and support, print goods and services. The purchase, lease, or lease/purchase of these goods are not currently available on the Alabama State Purchasing Program or are not available at a price equal to or less than that on the State Purchasing Program, and vendor is a participating Alabama vendor holding an Alabama business license. The city is authorized by Section 41-16-57F to let lease purchase contracts for a period not greater than 10 years. The city is authorized by Section 41-16-51A16 Code of Alabama to lease, purchase, or lease/purchase goods and services through a national or regional governmental cooperative purchasing program without complying with the competitive bidding requirements of the Alabama Competitive Bid Law. When certain conditions are met, ABS Business Systems of Birmingham LLC is an authorized reseller of RICOH, MFDS, and print goods and services, and has been awarded contract number 2021002-788 by Omnia Partners Public Sector, a national purchasing cooperative for the provisions of goods or services pursuant to this agreement. The city is authorized to expend an amount not to exceed $51,758.51.
Move the item.
Second.
Okay, Chief Mitchell.
It's just procuring some copiers.
Okay. I have a question.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilor Abbott.
The question I have is, why are we so intent on buying RICO MFDs when we have other providers who make similar equipment that are on our bid program?
So this printer is a specialized printer for a certain type of documents, and it's mostly HR related when it comes to W-2s and W-9s of that nature. So it's a specialized printer.
Oh, okay. So it's something that no one else provides. So it's a single source. So we could have said that, right?
Could.
I mean, if it's true, we could have said it in writing if we wanted to. Okay. Well, that was my only question. So thank you, Madam Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, do you have any questions?
I don't necessarily have a question, and I'm looking at staff who present us information with the disparity study, Mr. Hauser. And so I was just wondering, in these situations, eventually, when you have a situation like this, and we've seen that we don't have vendors sometimes that can meet the requirements with the bid, but we'd be trying to move them into those opportunities. So is this where something you could use a situation like this from the information we received on the disparity study? I guess I don't know if I should ask that question,
I see where you're going, but I think it's situational because this is just printers. But I could see if it was something that's what we would lean towards, trying to get more minority participation towards something. I see where you're going.
Okay, all right, thank you. It was just popped in my head, and I just thought about that. Thank you.
Gotcha. Council Clark, you're good? Okay. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. That item passes. Next item. Item 17, a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute for and as the act of said city an agreement between the City of Birmingham and Citizens Trust Bank utilizing American Rescue Plan Act funding received by the city to operate and manage a Better Business Loan Program to assist small businesses located in the City of Birmingham that are experiencing financial hardship as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, providing loans of up to $10,000 per business for a total program amount not to exceed $500,000. Amount not to.
Move the item.
Second.
I bring up Mr. Corey Ate Hauser. We speak on it.
Good afternoon.
This one is a pretty straightforward program that we are proposing here. So a partnership with Citizen Trust Bank to authorize loans for a couple of different things. So the business has to be sort of that micro business, so below $500,000 in revenue and less than 10 employees, they will be eligible for this particular loan. And so there is an option for this loan to be forgivable after a certain period should the businesses go through the requirements of TA, business books review, things of that nature, because we all know, as we just had the conversation with Danielle Hines with Creed, a lot of businesses are trying to scale up, and so how do they do that being so small and don't have access to capital? So this gives them direct access to capital here in Birmingham using our already allocated funds from ARP. So the council graciously allowed us to put a line item on ARP for small business relief, and so this is part of that program that's already allocated, and so now we're putting an actual program behind that with a bank here locally, Citizens Trust Bank.
Yes, thank you for using a black bank. Number one. Number two, how many businesses do you anticipate to help?
We can help at least 50,
Okay.
or up to 50, I should say.
50.
Depends on, if the business actually wants to get the entire $10,000 or less than that, but it's up to $10,000.
Okay, perfect. Council Abbott?
Yes, my only question is, it's called a Better Business Loan Program. Does that have anything to do with the Better Business Bureau?
Not at all. It's just the name that they came up with.
Okay. That was my only question, because you answered that it was out of tranche number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when does tranche number 2 come in?
We actually got the funding last week. So I think the mayor's in discussion with the council about tranche 2.
Yes, the tranche 2 is for the council, as I recall. As I recall, tranche 2 is for the council. Isn't that right, ladies? Tranche 2. Okay, thank you very much.
Madam President?
I do have a question. So this, any business that would go up for this particular amount of money, would there be any relationship to what they may have received from PPP at the first program before, from the CARES Act, or that is independent, or do we look to see if their credit worthiness or their repayment for that, would that have any?
So part of what Citizens Trust will take them through some of their small business lending programs that they currently have, so they'll get that support as well, but completely separate from PPP.
Okay. And I do have one more thing, and this is mainly for the chief. When we did, just to piggyback on Mrs. Abbott's question or comment about the tranche 1, will we be receiving reporting for just, I know we approved things ahead of time, and would we ever know when we've spent all of the tranche 1 and then we're going into the tranche 2? How is that going to be reported to us?
Can you give it to Budget and Finance?
Okay.
Could we anticipate that?
We bring things out of tranche 1 just like this one, because I think we approved tranche 1 in a certain type of categories, and then as we draw down on different amounts, they come before the council. But I think you're asking for a report out of like
a report out.
So like, say this one is completed and approved, you would like to
like a summary. Since it's not in the budget book, then we.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to see that, or maybe we could add that to our committee of the whole on a quarterly basis, or however we could work that out, Chief.
We can do it quarterly because we have to submit our reports to the Treasury Department quarterly anyway, so that falls in line with.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a good question. Councilor Clark? Oh, Cheryl, did you have something to say? No.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Coriata, if you said businesses earning annual gross sales or whatever of less than 500,000 and fewer than 5 employees?
10.
Fewer than 10 employees. And will you all just advertise widely, or they'll refer bank customers to the program, or?
So we'll advertise in conjunction, our department social media, the city social media, and then send out also, we do a bi-weekly e-blast to small businesses. So we'll put it in that, and we're more than happy to send it to the council as well so that you guys can advertise it. But it's open to all businesses who fall within those 2 categories, less than 500,000 in revenue a year, and then less than 10 employees.
Okay, and so it's designed to be forgivable, but what if they don't meet the requirements? Do you anticipate any program income from this? Like if somebody has to repay because they didn't meet?
We don't expect anyone to not meet those because they're going to actually get to walk through sort of that business consulting, so they'll know going in exactly what's needed for that to be forgivable. And all honesty, those businesses that are that small are more willing to go through those programs, especially if they know they're going to be forgivable. So, to a larger corporation, not so much, right? Like they may default and just say, I'll pay it back. For these businesses, they actually want the support and they need the programming and funding. So we don't anticipate that anybody would, but should they have to repay that loan, that they will work with Citizens Trust directly to repay that over a 24-month period.
Okay. So it won't come back to the city as general fund revenue or some. I was just wondering what happens if ARPA funds convert into program income from a program. I mean, does it lose its identity as ARPA funds? So
what will happen, it won't go back sort of into Citizens Trust because obviously we have to expend our ARP dollars by 2026. So should that happen, then we will take the appropriate steps to revolve the loan.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're on. Okay, next item number 19. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Cooperation of National and Community Services, CNCS, AmeriCorps Vista under Title I, Part A of the Domestic Violence Services Act of 1973. The grant funds will be used to expand the city's reach in building on education, economic opportunities, and healthy futures by supporting one VISTA supervisor position, 32 full-time VISTAs, and 40 summer associates for a term of 1 year, ending June 30th, 2023, with the city contributing $46,500 in matching funds, and authorizing the mayor to take all actions and execute such other documents as are appropriate and necessary to accept and expend the grant award in accordance with the terms of the grant.
Move the item.
Second.
Good afternoon. Hey, you can just say your name and what department.
Terry Lee Burrell, Finance Grants Division.
Yes, ma'am. Can you tell us a little bit, is there anything else we need to know about this item?
It's the same AmeriCorps Vista program that we've been getting since 2016.
So for the last 6 years.
So the only thing, it's just time for renewal each year.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, I wanted to know if we can get a list of the locations where these people will be assigned.
They haven't been assigned yet. But
I mean, when it happens.
Usually we put them in different departments, mostly some of them in the mayor's office, DYS, PEP, I mean, they're scattered, but we'll provide a list.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I think it'd be great if we had some people that could research some of these issues we don't ever seem to be able to get around to, which are numerous. So, temporary people are a great resource to do the things you don't have time to do. So thank you.
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, I have a question. So as you place these students as you place people into these positions, can the department, say for instance, if the council wanted to have use of one of these positions, could it be more than one, or how are they
they're
allocated?
they're mostly technical support people for the various departments. It would have to be a discussion because, it's kind of, I say if we wanted somebody that was a VISTA that is going through school as an engineer, so we would want to place them in a department where they can grow and have, that kind of background to put on their resume. So it just depends on the person. But we can look into seeing if a VISTA could work in the council's office.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We may be interested in that. Thank you.
Yeah, they were super helpful in 2020 with the census. I know they helped me in Eagleton Village, and they helped us with those cleanups. What was it? Pride on the West Side. You remember that word, Dean?
Yes.
Yeah, we had some
Yes.
volunteers for that. So, Councilor Clark, you good? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 20. A resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute emergency loan fund administration agreement with Birmingham Business Resource Center, BBRC, under which the city of Birmingham will pay BBRC $132,000 for the administration of a loan program as part of its response to the detrimental impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on small businesses, and will provide funding of $500,000 to BBRC, and BBRC will provide outreach, education, and financial support for businesses in the city, and will administer financial assistance, including loans of up to $10,000 to approved.
Move the item.
Second.
Afternoon again. Very similar program, a couple of differences here. This program does not have a revenue cap or an employee cap, and so it's available to all businesses within Birmingham. Particularly those are ones that are serving underserved communities. So they need to sort of have a focus on that, but they can either be located in that area or serving the underserved communities. We all know Birmingham Business Resource Center very well. Bob Dickerson, he actually ran our BHAM Strong program that we launched right after COVID. And so even from that, a couple of stats, they were awarded about $2.1 million for the BHAM Strong program. 75% of them were black-owned, about $700,000 went to women-owned, and then $1 million were all minority-owned. And so that's the organization that will administer this particular fund as well. And so they will also take them through some of the programs that Bob and his team have with business coaching. They'll teach them how to have better banking relationships so that they can extend the life of that financial literacy that they have. And so that's what we have before you today. Again, another item that was approved with the Tranche 1 funds. We're just now putting a program behind it to launch it.
Okay, perfect. Madam President, do you have any questions?
Well, I just want to commend, again, the mayor and the team for both of these programs. I know they will help to really be beneficial to the community as well as to these different organizations. And I just wanted to commend Bob Dickerson. I know this week is the NCRC convention, and I know he's up there, and I think the mayor may be up there tooting our horn a little bit, talking about some of these programs. So thank you.
Okay. Councilor Abbott?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Councilor Clark? You good? Okay. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Thank you. Next item is item 30. I guess I can bring both of them up together. You want me to bring them both together? Okay. Item 30, a resolution authorizing a renewal agreement with Symetria Life Insurance Company for the provision of medical stop loss coverage for a term of 1 year, commencing July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $1,366,548. And then item 31, a resolution approving payment to ACE, American Life Insurance Company, for renewal of lump sum and disability cancer benefits for eligible City of Birmingham firefighters for a period of 12 months, commencing July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $81,810 as mandated by Act 2019-361, Alabama HB 360.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay. Good afternoon.
So item 30 is stop loss for our medical insurance. This year we paid $770,770. Quotes from 3 companies. The Metro was not the lowest bidder, however, they have no lasered claims. So, celiac, that because of our existing contract, they can't laser. That difference in premium is up our out-of-pocket deductible by $50,000. That made the Symetria are no lasers. We are expecting this year to receive somewhere between $1.7 million and $1 million in stop loss payments based upon where we were first quarter of the year. That is our recommendation. There's also rate cap next year for 2 years. I can tell you stop loss across the country is going up. Hormonal therapy that is supposed to be being released by the FDA with one treatment can
Okay. What about item 31? Is that pretty self-explanatory?
Item 31 is by state law, the city is providers. This is where they did not have a rate increase, so we're asking for that to be approved. Both have start dates of July 1st. They're always knocking on our door July 2nd, so we wanted to make sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Madam President?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Council Abbott?
So, just to be sure I'm remembering correctly, the medical stop loss coverage is to cover individual cases where someone has an ongoing and exceedingly expensive treatment program.
Yes, ma'am. It covers us for anything over $500,000 is when the stop loss kicks in, and that includes their pharmacy as well as $7 and $3 million.
Okay, so the coverage is for the fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, that answers my questions. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Clark, are you good? Do you need to ask any questions? I know Ms. Kidd after that.
I did have a quick question. Just, you mentioned that 31, that is insurance that we are required to carry, and the number 30 is some insurance that you all think is prudent to carry.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have we had this type of coverage?
We've had stop loss coverage since prior to me arriving here in 2018. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's only until recent years.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Kidd?
The out-of-pocket cost has gone up to $50,000.
No, we have increased the out-of-pocket cost for the city from $475,000 to $500,000 per claim.
Is it passed on to employees?
No, it's just the city cost.
Okay. All right, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those items pass. Next item, Old and new business. So Chief Mitchell, I received an email about this, and councilors, I'm having a little memory jogging right now. I think we asked the administration to come before Budget and Finance, give an update on grants, and because I remember when we were in DC, there were a lot of grants we hadn't gotten information about, and so we were going to use this as a.
Yeah, I think Ms. Camilla Gray Lewis sent you a note back asking specifically what you wanted to know, and I think we were kind of waiting on.
That's why I'm asking them now.
I mean, we just want to know what it looks like, so we.
Yeah, just kind of like a heads up. So we kind of aren't blindsided in DC. Not blindsided, but a lot of times the information is given to us. Like, oh, you guys did a good job applying for these grants. Here's what you're awarded, and we don't know anything about it. So.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
We'll talk.
Any information that you can give us, yeah. Okay. Is there anything else? Do we have anybody that signed up to speak about the budget? Okay, Amelia, did you want to say something? No, you're good? Okay. I do have a question for Councilor Abbott and Madam President. I know historically the committee sends out a recommendation about the budget. Is that something we would like to do this year? I know the committee has done this in the past, if that's correct.
You're talking about the budget message or?
The budget in general. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ms. Kidd? They'll send out like a recommendation, said the Budget and Finance Committee recommends passing FY whatever year it is budget. Is that so?
The item goes to the agenda.
Okay.
So then it is.
Okay. 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 What's usually put in that place if the committee doesn't talk about it? Just nothing? No. Okay. Okay. I was just wondering. Council Clark?
Madam Chair, what day are we planning to vote on budget?
You have to vote by July 1st. So whatever that Tuesday is before July 1st.
28th.
The 28th is the last day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that our goal, or would we like to do it sooner?
That's what we have to do.
No, but are we going to try to do it sooner?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, then. Okay.
And I think...
No, there's the 21st.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. And interject this, but hearing it, when you said this is what we have to do, the city has gone without a budget, and you just default and operate on the budget that is in place now. So I think that you all will be ready, but I don't want you to at least carry that you have to do it. It is prudent to pass it before July 1st, but I know you know that we have, I think, maybe 2 times not done it. Don't like to do it, and I wouldn't advise doing it. I'm not saying that, but I just want the information.
I know there are consequences, because I know some cities had to do it because of the pandemic, and it really threw everything off, so.
Okay. So to answer your question, Counselor, we would have 2 opportunities. We'll have our last budget meeting on the 16th, and so we could either bring that forward on the 21st or the 28th, depending upon the consensus and the barometric pressure reading we have of willingness to consider that item.
Well, and Madam Chairman, in the past, when we have not passed the budget on time, that was back in the old days when the council had some say in what was done with the budget. And of course, now we've lost that ability. And so, you know, if we have any changes we want to make, we have to ask the mayor if he agrees to them. And, you know, usually the answer is no. So there's really no reason to hold it over, except you remember the lady who screamed out that we could just not vote for the budget the other day? Well, if we really had great heartburn, we could just not vote for it. But I've never thought that was a very good way to do business. And it certainly doesn't enhance your relationship with the head of the administration if the council refuses to pass the budget. You know, it was kind of like we stomped our foot and said no, 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 and it seemed, I just wouldn't recommend it either. Yeah. And with the council administrator, it's just not a good idea.
Yeah, we tried that in 2020, so it is possible, Council Clark, but
I was just going to say, if we want it to go with your committee's recommendation, then we're pretty much relegated to the 28th unless you have a special call meeting before that, right? Okay. I don't know if there's any administrative, you all go ahead and load everything as if.
No, we don't make assumptions.
Okay, so y'all, y'all are having I mean, how long does it take to load a new budget?
Usually upon passage, it takes like a couple of days, like at least 1 or 2 days to get it loaded.
Okay.
all right, let's go. Okay. Well, there's not anything else. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Move for adjournment.
We adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you.